second base with a one-out double for Chaska. Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome inside Eastview High School. Ryan Paul coming to you live on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network, brought to you by Lenz and Chevrolet Buick. I'm pleased to be joined this evening by Mr. Eric Krauscher, sports editor for the local Chaska Herald. And I believe we're going to get going with some pregame things going on here. But Eric, welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for joining us this evening. I know not too far of a trek from your home over in Eagan, but thanks for joining us nevertheless. It's snowy weather, not exactly the best conditions to get over here.
When you got these type of conditions, having a 5-minute drive turn 10-minute, not a bad thing. So I always like when Chaska and Chanhassen teams are playing over in District 196.
Yep, that's right. We're coming to you live again from Eastview High School. Chaska hockey is playing Hopkins over back in Chaska at the Community Center against Hopkins. You can watch that one live. Watch both of our games live here on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network by going to chaskabasketballreport.com. We're going to go down live to the court now for the introduction of the starting lineups as well as the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, as it is tradition in the United States of America, please stand, remove your hats, and face the American flag as we welcome ninth grader Hannah Olson to lead us in tonight's national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the monsters seen there gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of praise?
Well, a beautiful rendition of the national anthem here from Eastview High School by a 9th grade student here at the school. We will send you back down to the court now for the presentation of our starting lineups.
We'll be playing Penny LaRue in the musical How to Succeed in Business Without Trying. It opens Friday night here at Eastview High School.
I don't know.
Now Here for the Eastview Lightning, number 3, senior guard Ben Newbert. At guard for the Hawks, number 5, Matt Eliason. And at guard, Eastview Lightning, number 22, captain, Isa Ibrahim. At forward, number 1, Parker Bjorklund. At guard, number 23, senior captain, Max Holder. At forward for the Hawks, number 33, Cole Nicholson. At forward for the Lightning, number 51, sophomore, Stephen Crowell. Guard, number 3, Marcus Peters. And at forward, number 4, sophomore, Jake Rajek.
Finally, the starting lineups here from Eastview High School. Again, Ryan Paul joining you here with Eric Krauscher on the second night of Hawks basketball this season, coming to you live on the Lenz and Chevrolet Buick Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. We'll have a game tonight between Chaska, who lost to North St. Paul Saturday, Eric, to North St. Paul, as I said. A bit of a tough opening matchup for the Hawks, a good team over there in St. Paul. What do you think they'll have to do tonight to bounce back and take down the Eastview team?
Well, you know what the thing with North St. Paul is, they had that one true scorer that comes back. And anytime you're playing early in the season, when you have a guy like that who can take over a game, that makes it tough. In Chaska, has that in Cole Nicholson, but what does that supporting cast look like, as the season goes on? And so, tonight I think the biggest thing will be in that second half, if it's a close game, who's going to take those shots late in the game. That was something that you saw at North St. Paul. Cole took a big three, rimmed out, had a chance to tie it, but if he's not taking it, who is? And so we'll see tonight where this team is at in game number 2 after a good practice, I'm guessing, yesterday.
Down on the basketball floor, we've got action underway here to start off the game. Cole Nicholson throws a pass just over the head of Matt Eliason for the first turnover of the game. And as Eric said in the last segment there, good news, Capigel, is that one scorer that he's talking about for North St. Paul. He had 30-plus the other night. He's definitely going to be a storyline going into this season as we move on here. For Chaska there, headlined by Cole Nicholson, the junior forward. Parker Bjorklund down low. You see him down there falling to the floor, blocking the shot of Stephen Crowell. And Stephen Crowell gets the first points of the game on a 2 underneath. But as you said, Cole Nicholson, Parker Bjorklund, the 2 big men for the Hawks, are really going to get a lot of the hard, tough minutes down low this season with the loss of Miles Hansen, who did a lot of work down low last year, Andrew Coleman. They're going to have to be physical here if they want to win games.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing here is, both those guys played more perimeter. Cole was able to, do a little posting last year, but, maybe he'll have to go inside a little bit more. Rebounding is definitely going to be a team first thing.
Down low, the sophomore Crowell puts Eastview up 4-0, his 4th point of the game. He's got all those points so far this game. So a 4-0 lead here. Zach Leah brings the ball up the floor. Leah guarded by the 6'8 sophomore Crowell. Number 51, Nicholson gets a pass from Marcus Peters. He takes the hold. Ball batted in the air by Crowell. I'm assuming that Stephen Crowell will be a storyline for this game as Eastview's number 23, Max Bolger, misses from 15. And timeout. Crowell gets his 6th point of the game and puts Eastview up 6-0. Dana Coleman, not even 2 minutes in, calls his first timeout.
Well, and you can look at his size, 6'8", sophomore. He just needs to be within 5 feet of the basket, and he's going to be able to score. But he had active hands on the defensive side of things. Started that transition bucket. He just cleaned up the garbage for a 6-0 Eastview lead right away.
Not the way Dana Coleman and staff wanted to start out this second game of the season here. Eastview, not exactly the oldest team, but neither is Chaska. Eastview has that advantage in the height column. 6'8" Stephen Crowell is a sophomore. He'll tower over the majority of the players that Chaska will see this year. Last year we faced off in, I'm sure you remember, in the state quarterfinal against Theo John. He also stood around 6'8", 6'9". Also, Bloomington Jefferson last year had a couple of very tall players down low for the Jaguars. Those two obviously graduated as seniors. But Chaska, not exactly the tallest team. Average height's probably right around 6'1", 6'2", so they're going to have to make up for the lack of height here this season, and I think they're going to have to do that by their aggressive play down low and also quality shooting on the perimeter. Parker Bjorklund enters the arc now, gives it back out to Cole Nicholson. Nicholson returns it right back to Bjorklund. Bjorklund knocked over an Eastview player, missed the layup. Marcus Peters grabs the offensive board, battling for it, and he's called for a travel. The turnover on Chaska, and they still have yet to get a point on the board here 2 minutes in.
Well, it'd be interesting here to see. Nope, he's still sticking with Parker on Crowell. Might see a little zone here. We'll see if they switch it up here. Maybe go with Cole on the big guy, but it's definitely a mismatch for Parker here.
Yep, I think it's going to be a mismatch for most of the players that Crowell sees this year. As you see him down low, call for the ball. 6'8", he's going to, as I said, stand over a lot of guys. This is Max Bolger, who takes it in, puts Eastview up 8-0, so a bit of a troublesome start here for the Hawks. On the other end, Cole Nicholson passed up a 3-ball. He's looking for a setup. Now he dribbles it with his left hand inside the paint. He goes up. No, he gives it out for Leah. Leah, a corner 3-ball. That's off. Rebound, poked around. Now it's given off for Ben Newbert. Newbert inside for Bogle. Bolger goes up for it, and he's fouled on the way up. Marcus Peters tried to step in and take a charge, but he's called for the block instead. And with 15-15 to go here in half number one, Eastview's going to have a chance to expand on their 8-0 lead.
Well, and that was a nice play by Cole to drive the lane, get a kick out. That's a shot that we're really going to see Zach make a lot more over the next couple of years as he gets used to this level, gets used to this pressure. Wide open 3 in the corner, so that's a good look from Cole.
Leah, only a sophomore, number 2 out there in white. He did see a little bit of action last year when the varsity team went up by quite a few points in some games. He and the other JV guys did get to see some floor here on the varsity spectrum, but the first time for many of them this year seeing playing time on the varsity level. This is Eliason, swung over for fellow senior Marcus Peters. Now they're swinging it around. Zach Leah has it on the far side. Leah looking for an option. Nicholson has it now above his head, finds Eliason. Eliason, nice pass down low for Bjorklund. Bjorklund off the glass for 2. That starts off scoring. Parker Bjorklund off the glass for 2, and it's 9-2 Lightning with 14:45 to go in half number one.
Big bucket there for Chaska. Needed to get on the board here. Now you got to work on defense.
Going down the other end is Eastview. This is Bolger. No, that's Tate Machacek, who enters the lane, goes up and is fouled. I believe it's on Nicholson. Nicholson is the one who picks up the foul. So Eastview, led by sophomore forward, 6'8", Stephen Crowell with 6 points so far this game. At the line is Tate Machacek. He gets his first point of the ball game and puts Eastview up by 8 with 1 free throw remaining.
The big thing you can see Eastview doing right now is that they're going towards the hoop. Everything has been within 5-10 feet of the basket, exploiting that smaller lineup from Chaska.
Eastview, I'm not sure if they've missed a shot, maybe one so far this game. They've gone up and been fouled twice already so far, and they've already had a handful of points down low in the paint. This is Leah from the elbow. He gives it over for Peters. Peters inside for Nicholson. Nicholson looks for an option. He finds Leah. Leah passes up a 3-ball, gives it inside for Bjorklund. Bjorklund inside, dunks! Parker Bjorklund throws it down, his first dunk of the year. A highlight reel play from the Hawks senior.
Well, if you saw Parker last year, that was his move.
Yep.
Go to that left hand off that spot right there. So that's a nice possession for Chaska.
Hopefully that'll turn the tables of momentum here a little bit in favor of the Hawks. 11-4 the score with just under 15 to play. Zach Leah, a nice play on the defensive end. Intelligently throws it right off the hands of Stephen Kroll, bounce out of bounds. And it's Chaska ball here. We get a substitution. Checking in for the first time tonight is number 13 for Eastview. That's Isaac Raspberry. This is Matt Eliason who brings it up the floor now for Chaska. He's instead going to give it off for the sophomore Leah. Leah crosses the timeline, works right to left across your screen. Now Leah has it again. Parker Bjorklund poking out right behind the back of Eastview's number 23, Max Bolger. Parker Bjorklund goes up and gets fouled with 13:38 to go and 2 shots ahead for the Hawks senior.
We're 4 minutes into this game. We saw it against North St. Paul. Parker Bjorklund is definitely asserting himself as that number 2 guy after Cole Nicholson. He's looking to attack the basket.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the aggressiveness that Parker Bjorklund showed on the offensive end in that first matchup against North St. Paul back on Saturday. But not everything fell for him to start off the game. But those will come. You can't make them all to start off the season. So it's nice to see the aggressiveness. Parker Bjorklund has all 6 of Chaska points so far this game. Eastview has it after the 2 of 2 free throw stunt from Bjorklund. This is Assam Ibrahim who goes up for 2 from the free throw line, and it's 13-6 in favor of the Lightning. This is Marcus Peters on the other end. A 3-pointer goes off the back iron. The ball is batted around. Final call is that is off of Bjorklund, and it'll go in favor of Eastview with 13:13 to go here in half number 1. Eliason guarding number 13 Raspberry now. This is Crowell. Crowell over to Ibrahim. Ibrahim no good. Now it's Peters who pushes up. Peters advances for Bjorklund. Bjorklund spin move inside. Looked like he might have walked with him, but instead it's a skipped pass out for Peters. A long 2-ball, no good. Defensive rebound by Crowell for Eastview. Some tangling up behind the play. Crowell couldn't get a clean pass off, and Chaska gets a steal. This is Leah. Leah over to Nicholson. Nicholson, long 2-ball, up and just a bit short. Matt Eliason, nice rebound, but he's going to get called for a foul. No, the foul is going to be on Eastview. It's going to go against number 13, Raspberry. And Eastview's first foul of the game is, second foul. Their second foul of the game is committed by Isaac Raspberry, and Chaska's going to get a setup here.
Matt Eliason played a lot of minutes for Chaska last year because of plays like that. He's not the biggest guy in the court, but he finds his way to the ball.
Yeah, if you watched any of the Chaska games last year, you saw Elias, and he came off the bench for almost every game towards the end of the season, and there you see it, showing off as Parker Bjorklund has his left-handed jumper go in and out. Andrew Fix, the senior who just checked into the game, picks up a foul. Chaska's third of the contest. But as Eric said, Matt Eliason is very visibly going to be that guy that you see out there scrapping for every loose ball. He's their number 1 physical guy out there, in my opinion. So,
well, preseason, Coach Coleman said one of the best defenders he's coached all of his career. So that's high praise.
I remember at the banquet last year, they do gifts for each of the varsity players, and the team gift for Eliason was a pair of industrial clamps. They called them Matty clamps for his defensive abilities. Parker Bjorklund gets the rebound, does the splits. Is called for a travel with 12 minutes and change to go here. Bjorklund was falling to the floor and couldn't maintain a pivot foot, so he's called for the turnover here with just over 12 minutes to go. Inbound play for Eastview. This is Raspberry. Raspberry mishandled the ball in from the referee, and Eastview's going to get another setup here. Raspberry looking for an option. He's got time ticking now. Instead, he goes off for number 33, Will Berry. Berry gave it up for Machacek, and Machacek traveled with it. Now checking in for the Hawks is going to be number 43, Spencer Getz, the freshman. Zach Lee is going to re-enter, and that's one thing I noticed a lot of in that North St. Paul game, Eric, was, I know you weren't there, but Zach Lee was checking in and out every 2 minutes. They're really trying to work in some of the first guys off the bench. So Lee is going to see a lot of ins and outs of it throughout this season, I'd imagine, at least for the start of it. He brings the ball across the top now. Here's Nicholson. Nicholson on the baseline, a spin move. Nice move by Nicholson. He's fouled as he goes up. Nicholson's going to get a pair. 11:44 to go here. Chaska down 13-6.
interesting lineup here for Coach Coleman. You got one senior, two underclassmen, a couple juniors. So, right now, early in the season, you're mixing up a bunch of things, seeing who works with who.
They have two freshmen sitting on the bench, and or three freshmen sitting on the bench, or three freshmen on the roster. Luke Strazzani and Jack Fricker on the bench. Spencer Getz, number 43, out there in white right now. You'll see him, I'd assume, for the majority of the first part of the season. He'll get some good action here. If you remember, all the way back 2 years ago, Cole Nicholson, as a freshman, saw some varsity minutes, but I'd assume that the way Coach Coleman is treating this substitution game right now, that Spencer might even see some more minutes than Cole did his freshman year.
Well, like I said, you got to see what these kids can do at this level. That's why you throw Zach Lee out there right away and say, hey, let's see how you handle everything as a sophomore.
Coach Coleman does have other options at the guard position. He's got Connor Krinos here, who spots up a three ball and drains it. Connor Krinos, very impressive to start off this season. Is just over 11 minutes left in the first half. It's 13-11 Eastview. Chaska climbing right back into it. As I was saying, Connor Krinos, the junior, very, very good looking in the open gym sessions preseason, and now through two and a quarter games, he's showed out very well. Connor Krinos, there he is, drains another three ball. He pulls Chaska within one. He's 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, and in his probably only 2 minutes that he's been in, he's already got 6 points. Timeout Eastview, and we will go to break here with 10:53 to go. Right back on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network after this.
This Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network live stream is brought to you by Lenz and Chevrolet Buick, Above and Beyond Marketing Communications, and St. Francis Orthopedic Rehab.
Welcome back to Eastview here. Eric Croucher alongside me. My name is Ryan Paul. Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. I think my microphone was turned off for that, but Ryan Paul coming to you here with Eric Croucher from Eastview High School. 15-14 the score here with just under 11 minutes to go. Connor Krinos entered the game and has scored 2 threes on consecutive possessions. He's got 6 points here for the Chaska Hawks, who are down 1 to Eastview so far.
Here's that zone that I was talking about. Running a 2-3 zone here.
Stephen Crowell, the 6'8 sophomore for Eastview, is not in the game, but Chaska still likes to go with the zone, and they're beat off of it as Tate Monchacek drains a three ball from the corner, putting Eastview up 18-14 with 10:20 to go here in first half. Hope you're enjoying our second basketball broadcast of the season. Hockey is also live. You can watch both of our games all season long on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Go to chaskabasketballreport.com. Watch all of our games this season. Zach Lee on the floor now for Chaska. No look pass out to Getz. Now it's Nicholson in the corner. Connor Krinos wants the ball. He's open. Krinos is still open. Now Nicholson inside the paint goes up with it. He's fouled. Almost got a three-point play chance there, but instead he's going to go to the line for 2. And with 9:52 to go here, a 4-point ball game.
Well, you got to establish him inside a little bit here, and they've tried to. Since they're down 13-6, it's going to open up the outside shot when Cole's getting inside.
Here's Nicholson at the stripe. First one of 2 is up and good. Nicholson, the junior, got good time last year as a sophomore on their road to state. Averaged, I think he was second or third on the team in points per game. I think he was right around 12 points per contest. So he's hoping to expand on those numbers this year. He had a nice season debut, 26 points against North St. Paul on Saturday. He checks out here for Parker Brooklyn, who enters. 9:52 to go here. Eastview 18, Chaska 16. Five seconds called, a sloppy turnover there by Isaiah Raspberry for Eastview. And with 9:39 to go, Chaska has the ball back, chance to take over here with a 3-point shot. Hawks have not led in this game. They went behind 6-0 to start off the game. Sophomore for Eastview, Stephen Crowell, had 6 points to open it up for the Lightning. Backcourt press applied. now by number 25, Caden Scales, who entered the game recently. Here's Getz over to Leah for Chaska. Parker Bjorklund finds himself open down low. Now he's guarded against Matichek. Bjorklund, left-handed hook shot didn't go. Rebound Eastview.
Yeah, that's a play right there I saw against North St. Paul that Parker maybe forced a little bit. I mean, that's one of those things that he'll understand a little bit that he has to. He can get that at any time. He's got to have a little bit more patience.
Down on the floor now. This is number 12, Nick Verman, who hits a 3-ball, putting Eastview up 21-16. Quickly back down the floor. Parker Bjorklund with it. Spin move inside. Bjorklund from 12. Just a bit too strong. He got his own rebound, though. It goes out of bounds. It's going to be Eastview ball. So a missed shot from Bjorklund, but a good offensive rebound almost. Good aggressiveness there from the Chaska senior. 21-16 the score here. 8:53 to go from Eastview High School. Ryan Paul and Eric Krauscher coming to you live. Back on the floor, this is number 13, Raspberry. Raspberry over for Scales. Worked over, no, that's the Scales now. Excuse me, Scales has it guarded by Connor Krinos. Back for number 13, Raspberry now. Raspberry with it. Inside for the 6'8", Crowell. Crowell against Bjorklund. Good job by Bjorklund getting in his face, but Raspberry went back door. Nobody caught him, but he luckily missed a layup for Chaska. Now back down is Spencer Getz. Getz for Bjorklund. Bjorklund up top. Over for Krinos. Krinos gets over for Bjorklund. Now Bjorklund looks for an option. Guarded by Crowell. Krinos is open in the corner here. This would be for 9. Just a bit off. Rebound by Eastview. Go under 8 minutes here in the first half. Chaska down 21-16 to the Lightning of Eastview. Night number 2 of Hawks basketball. Inside a nice fancy move by number 13, Raspberry. He puts Eastview up 23-16. A little bit of a hesitation in the air. He puts it up for 2. And he taps it out of bounds, but it's too far out of bounds, actually, is with 7:40 to go. Chaska gets the ball back. Exit Krinos and Getz. Entered Nicholson and Peters.
It was a 15-14 game. 8-2 run here, all 8 points within 10 feet of the basket again for Eastview. And so whenever Eastview is doing that, they're a successful team.
Only 1 or 2 baskets from the Lightning have been from beyond maybe 15 feet. So a lot of inside scoring coming from Eastview here on their home opener. Another foul, 6 of the game for Eastview. Number 51, Stephen Crowell, picks up his first personal, and it sends Bjorklund to the line for a pair. Bjorklund, the left-handed shooter, will shoot a pair. He misses the first one off the back iron. Enter Dan Sweden. Swedeen, it's pronounced. Bjorklund. Toe on the line. Toe just short of the line. Sinks the second of 2. 23-17. 9:36 to go here in the first half. Matt Eliason, strong defense against Raspberry. Raspberry inside now. Now it's kicked out for Swedeen. And a travel called against Dan Swedeen, the 6'4" sophomore for the Lightning. And Chaska has the ball back. A chance to make it a 1-score game.
Well, you can see both these teams are playing a lot of underclassmen. That's 4 sophomores in the game so far for Eastview.
Chaska, with their freshmen, they have a couple of sophomores that they could play. Seniors make up the majority of their starting lineup, however. Matt Eliason, there you see him diving forward on the floor. A fancy move there from Raspberry. That was a very good-looking move. He's up to 4 points on the night. It's 25-17 with just under 7 minutes to go here. Peters down on the baseline. He caught Swedeen looking, and it goes out of bounds. A missed layup from Marcus Peters. Gives the ball back to Eastview. 25-17 the score. 6:49 to go here in half number 1.
Well, Chaska's finding it a lot harder to score this game than he did against North St. Paul. A lot more physical. Eastview team.
Eastview plays physical. North St. Paul had the height. Eastview does have a little bit of that in their 6'8" forward, Crowell, but they're obviously a little bit younger than North St. Paul. They don't have probably a top 20 player in the senior class, as North St. Paul had Capigal. Ball batted around on the floor. Nobody can collect it. Parker Bjorklund finally gains possession. He's looking for something to do here. Not a lot of movement from Chaska on this possession. The ball Thrown across to Peters. He's fouled by Crowell. That's 2 personals on him, and we are going to go to the 1-and-1 bonus here. Marcus Peters will have a 1+.
Thing with a big guy, when they're hot early and then they get taken out, sometimes it's tough to regain that. And Crowell hasn't found it since coming back in. 2 quick personal fouls, and he's going to the bench.
He's going to find a seat on the bench with 2 fouls. Head coach for Eastview not messing around. That's Paul Getz who's calling the numbers for the Lightning as Marcus Peters hits his first on the bonus, making it a 25-18 game. Max Bolger re-enters for Eastview. 6:09 on the clock here. Live from Eastview High School, Ryan Paul and Eric Krauscher. This is Marcus Peters for the second of 2. It's up and good. Marcus Peters 2 for 2 from the line. Connor Krinos is going to take his spot on the floor. Bringing it up the floor for Eastview is Raspberry. Raspberry across. He throws it into the backcourt. It's apparently tipped, says our official. Now it's over for Scales. Scales looking for an option guarded by Krinos. He gives it inside for Machacek. Machacek against Nicholson. There's a disadvantage and a ticky-tack foul, I thought, with 5:48 to go here. Nicholson's probably going to pick up his second foul of the contest on what could have been probably left go. 25-19 the score. Oh, Matt Eliason picks it up, and it's his first. So Chaska avoids a 2-foul player right off the bat here. This is Machacek who stands at the line and sinks the first of 2, 26-19 here. And as if anybody couldn't read the scoreboard, our PA announcer has to announce it. 26-19 it stays with the offensive rebound by Bolger. Bolger looks for it. Eastview's going to reset off for Raspberry. Now it's back over for Scales. Scales up top. Works around all the way over to Raspberry. Raspberry looking for an option. Swung around Eastview. Starting to look a little bit troubled by this Chaska defense. Matt Eliason guarding right in the face of Raspberry. He makes another nice move to the hole. Looked like a travel. Nothing called. And we'll see a foul on the floor. We'll see who it goes against. It's going to be against the Hawk. It all depends on who it's going to be against. Bjorklund is the guilty party, and Spencer Getz is going to enter for the Hawk senior who just picked up the foul. 5:19 to go here. Chaska down 26-19 to the Eastview Lightning. Eastview defeated Stillwater the other night in a close game up to the end. Eastview kind of ran away with it. There's Matt Eliason who came away with a loose ball and a very good hustle play to the appreciation of the Chaska fans. Nicholson inside now, can't get a full grip on his dribble, but he's bailed out by a reach-in foul. The 8th of the game on Eastview.
Cole's got all 4 of his points from the free throw line. Shot's not falling right now. He hasn't had a 3-point look yet, but he's getting to the free throw line, and that's a big thing.
You know, a lot's going to change from now to the end of the year, and I think the shots that are going to drop for a lot of these Chaska players, we've seen Bjorklund struggle a little bit in the shooting percentage category. Nicholson could also probably find his way into that disadvantage, but with 5:05 to go here, he stands at the free throw line for his 5th point off of 5th free throw.
How are you?
Nicholson sinks number 2, brings Chaska back within 5. 5 minutes and ticking here. Matt Eliason guarding Raspberry at the timeline. Eliason gave up a free look, and a nice play there by Max Bolger to tip it in, putting Eastview up 7, 28-21.
You see Isaac Raspberry, he's been involved pretty much every time down the court he's been out there. He's been the difference right now.
Called his name quite a bit for Eastview. Here's Krinos who enters the paint. Goes up with the right. It's up and good. A nice strong move by Connor Krinos, putting Chaska back within 5 with 4:30 to go here in the first half. Here's Raspberry. Moves it over for Machacek. Machacek threw it off of a Chaska player out of bounds. 4:19 reads the clock. 28-23 to go here. Connor Krinos comes away with it. Moving it down the floor is the Hawks junior. Gives it over for fellow junior Nicholson. Nicholson over for Krinos. Krinos, a spot up tray. That's off. A little bit of trigger from Connor Krinos that probably could have been let go. Now the ball is tipped up in the air by Zach Lee. It's loose. Cole Nicholson finds a way with it. Chaska, as we go under 4 minutes in the first half, gets bailed away by a Connor Krinos air ball. Krinos, the 6 points came all off. He's at 8 now, actually. 6 points off of threes. Here's Nicholson, who drains his first 3 of the game, bringing Chaska back within 2.
That's such a tough thing for anybody who's guarding Cole 6'5". For 13 minutes here, he's been playing inside. And then he just steps back and hits a 3. Cuts it to 2-point game here.
We saw a lot of that last year. Nicholson he'll beat you hard inside, but then he'll also be able to pull up and knock it down from long range. So a multi-talented player is Nicholson. He works his tail off in the gym. So Chaska's going to get the ball back here after a travel by Raspberry. 3:17 on the clock. Chaska only down by 2 now, 28-26.
After being down 9-0 to start the game, being within 2 here with 3 minutes in the first half, that's a big momentum for Chaska here. Let's see if they can get the lead for the first time here.
Trying to find some positives off of what, as of this Saturday, was a little bit of a tough taste in their mouth for the Hawks. Krinos gets the tipped rebound. He gives it up for Bjorklund, though. A offensive foul called on Parker Bjorklund. I think that could have possibly gone the other way with just under 3 minutes to go. Bjorklund's going to pick up his second foul, and it comes offensively on a charge. Andrew Fix is going to enter, and Parker Bjorklund is going to exit after picking up that second foul.
Looked like the guy was falling back before contact was even made, but sometimes you get that call.
Down on the other end of the floor, here is Eastview. Eastview enters the paint, guarded by Spencer Getz, the freshman for Chaska. Here is Machacek. Machacek with the right, no good. Spencer Getz gets a rebound. Now he gives it up for Leah. Leah pushes ahead. This is Fix. Fix spots up a tray. It's no good. Spencer Getz a physical rebound, and it is a snatched by Zach Leah. A good rebound possession there from Spencer Getz and the rest of the Hawks. Nicholson inside has a chance. He's going to have to give it up. Instead, he goes up with it, and he's fouled. 2:21 on the clock. Chaska still down by 2, has a chance to tie it here from the free throw line. Nicholson's going to have a chance for 2.
All of a sudden, he could be in double figures here after having 4, about 3/4 of the way into the quarter here, the half here. So Cole's really turned it on here.
He's at 9. He had 20 plus in the game against North St. Paul. He reaches 10 now with this free throw. Connor Carino is the next leading scorer for Chaska at 8. Scales re-enters for Eastview. 2:21 on the clock. Nicholson can't make it a tie game. Instead, it's Andrew Fix who gets the offensive board and can't get it to drop to put Chaska ahead. But Krinos gets the tipped rebound. Krinos from about 5, no good. A bit of an ill-advised shot from Krinos. He's going to have to hold back here. As that's Scales who goes up with another fancy move, and just over 2 minutes to go. Eastview's going to have a pair of free throws. 9-7 are the fouls here. Zach Leah picks up his first foul of the contest.
There's a young team right there. Chance to take the lead. A couple quick shots off of offensive rebounds. Got to have a little patience in that situation. Find a better shot.
Only one senior out on the floor right now for Chaska. It's number 10, Andrew Fix. The rest of the lineup out there for the Hawks right now, 2 juniors, a sophomore and a freshman. 2:06 to go. We got Newbert checking back in for Eastview. Again, Eric Krauscher, Ryan Paul coming to you live here from Eastview on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network, brought to you by Lenz and Chevrolet Buick. 2 minutes to go in half number 1. Reminder, you can watch our game here as you are doing right now. Our boys hockey team is also being streamed live by Colin Jacobson as Cole Nicholson misses a layup over here. But Chaska hockey being streamed on their home opener, debuting their yellow jerseys. Here's Fix for 3, no good. Spencer gets offensive rebound. It's Fix who comes away with it. Back up for Krinos. Zach Leah for 3, no good. 1:30 to go. Hawks hockey playing at home against Chaska Community at the Chaska Community Center against Hopkins is what I was trying to spit out. Chaska hockey got their season off to a good start last week against Holy Angels I know, Eric, you were there with us. They played pretty well against a reasonably decent Holy Angels team.
Yeah, I know. It's what you expect from the first game. You come out and beat somebody 7-0 like Edina did, well, then you're number 1 team in the state.
A young team is Chaska, but they have a lot of talent. Already 4 Division I hockey commits, 2 going to the U of M, one to Wisconsin, and 1 to Nebraska Omaha. So going to be an exciting year for them. They obviously playing in a tough section. It's going to be a little bit difficult to move really all that far in the postseason unless they can get something strung together at the end of the season. Here's Getz, the freshman, at the line. Stands about 5 inches beyond his allotted space at the free throw line, but misses the first one with 1:23 to go here in the first half. Chaska down 3.
Getz here. He doesn't have a point yet, but he's had 4 offensive rebounds. And again, he's not the biggest guy on the court, so he's doing the little things here, keeping plays alive. Coaches see that.
Obviously, Dana Coleman seeing some positives out of him in practice. So he got some quality minutes last game against North St. Paul, and you see him again here getting quite a bit of time against Eastview. Sorry. Zach Lear playing nice defense against Vermin. Chaska's fans are into it as we go under 60 seconds here. 55 seconds and ticking. From Eastview High School. This is Bolger. No, this is Scales. Scales inside, guarded by Krinos. Krinos, nice defensive play, goes out of bounds off of Eastview. Hawks ball, 45 seconds to go here in the first half.
Be interesting to see if Coleman slows it down, takes one last shot with 45 seconds. It's a lot of time, but it's also a good grown-up moment here for a team if they can hold possession for 45 seconds. So we'll see.
A 3-point game with under a minute to go here. Obviously no shot clock in Minnesota high school basketball, so you can hold it for as long as you wish. Connor Krinos, his usual head fake as he avoids the contact inside. He drives the lane, is fouled on the floor. The clock stopped a couple seconds too late, but Connor Krinos is going to go to the line regardless. We're in the double bonus on Chaska's side, so 2 shots ahead for the Chaska Junior with 31.1 remaining on our clock.
That's 19 or 20 fouls in the game so far, right before halftime.
We saw North St. Paul. The Polars had, I think we were in the bonus within 4 minutes or so of the second half, so kind of strung into a long game with free throws, but hopefully we can get a bit of a clean game here as we run down the stretch of this first half and move into the second half. Krinos pulls Chaska within 1, 30-29 as we go under 36 remaining. Andrew Fix, a senior. Chaska's bench is getting into it here. Connor Krinos out on the floor clapping. Here's Ben Newbert. Newbert guarded by Fix. He swings it inside for Machacek. Machacek over for Bolger. I think Eastview is going to hold for the last shot here with 10 seconds to go. We've got 9, 8, 7. He pulls up from the free throw line and misses. Connor Krinos is now going to drive ahead with the last shot. He gives it up to Fix. 4, 3. Here's Getz from a long 2-ball. No good. And time expires on the first half. It's Eastview 30, Chaska 29. Hawks have only one player on the floor who scored. It's Connor Krinos, and he had 10. But we will go to break here at halftime. Chaska down 30-29, a 1-point game. Eric, thank you very much for coming out this evening. I know you're going to head down, take some pictures for the second half, but appreciate you coming on and doing a little color commentary with us. Great to have you, and hopefully we can do this a little more often this season.
Sounds good, Ryan. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, we'll be right back on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, the halftime game is the Chaska game Hawks. 2 balls for $1. They can be purchased at the...
This Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network live stream is brought to you by Lenz and Chevrolet Buick, Above and Beyond Marketing Communications, and St. Francis Orthopedic Rehab. This Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network live stream is brought to you by Lens and Chevrolet Buick, Above and Beyond Marketing Communications, and St. Francis Orthopedic Rehab. This Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network live stream is brought to you by Lens and Chevrolet Buick, Above and Beyond Marketing Communications, and St. Francis Orthopedic Rehab.
Welcome back to Eastview High School, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Paul coming to you for half number 2 of Hawks versus Lightning. Chaska down by 1, 30-29 here so far. Eric Krauscher did a great job with the color commentary in the first half. I hope you enjoyed our first time with him this season. Hopefully we'll get him back in the live stream later this year. Well, all right, so we had some technical difficulties there to start off the second half, but with 17:30 to go here, Ryan Paul coming to you for half number 2. Cole Nicholson has a block. Chaska switch sides, works left to right, but this is Eastview instead who steals it back. That's number 23, Max Bolger, who puts it through the hoop for 2, and it's 32-29 Eastview. Thanks to Jack Archer and Danny Johnson for filling in for Max Hannanen. He's off tonight, usually on the production, but these two guys stepped up and filled in. They're doing a great job so far with the production and on the camera, so thanks, guys, for that. Chaska down by 3 here with just under 17 to go in half number 2. This is Parker Bjorklund, the left-handed hook shot, can't fall. Instead it's tipped around. This is Matt Eliason who, falling down, gives it away. Now it's Bjorklund on the baseline, worked over for Nicholson. No, this is Bjorklund who keeps it. 16:46 to go, and Parker Bjorklund loses it out of bounds. I'm going to step away from the microphone for just a second to figure some things out, and I'll be right back. We'll keep you here live with some Hawks basketball action. I'll be right back. All right, well, sorry about that, folks. We had to step away for just a moment there, but we're back in action here. Ryan Paul coming to you live from Eastview. Hawks currently down 3 to the Lightning. 1-0 is Eastview on the season. 0-1 is Chaska. First foul of the half is called on Chaska. As number 20, who is that? That's number 22. Assam Ibrahim, who's fouled, and he's going to get 2 shots. It's a charity stripe. Already up 3. He can't make it a 4-point game with this one. Instead, he's going to have to use his second attempt to put Eastview up by 2 scores. Leading scorer of the game is Connor Krinos and Cole Nicholson. They both have 10. Krinos started the second half for Chaska. Nicholson is out there. No, Krinos starts on the bench for Chaska. Nicholson starts the second half for Chaska. 2-score game here, 33-29 Eastview. It's just over, 16 to go. Eliason, the pump fake, gives it over for Leah now. Leah inside for Bjorklund. Bjorklund against the 6'8", Stephen Crowell. Now it's Peters. Marcus Peters, the senior outside. Entry pass for Nicholson was forced. Can't do that. Sloppy turnover by Chaska there. Pushed up ahead now. This is Ibrahim. Ibrahim inside, no good. Rebound, Bjorklund. Bjorklund ahead for Leah. Chaska's pushing. They're going to slow it down, though, and Cole Nicholson's going to have it at the point. In the corner for Peters. Peters, tray ball, long, rebound Eliason. Chaska's Matt Eliason with the offensive board. Now it's Cole Nicholson's turn for a 3-ball, and that sinks. 33-32, a 1-point game. Chaska pulling ever so close with Eastview. I don't think Chaska's led in this game yet, but we are here now, 33-32. Inside, this is Crowell. Crowell can't get it to fall. He stands at 6'8". He's only a sophomore. Imagine the weapon he's going to be for Eastview in the future. Inside, Bjorklund lost the ball. Now it's Eliason ahead with it. Eliason up off the glass for 2. Chaska has the lead, 34-33. This is Nicholson for 3. Got it! Chaska leads 37-33 with just under 14 and a half to go. Timeout. Chaska 37, Eastview 33 with 14:18 to go. Head coach Paul Getz for Eastview needs to talk things over. When we come back from break, Chaska has the lead on Eastview for the first time tonight.
This Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network live stream is brought to you by Lenz and Chevrolet Buick, Above and Beyond Marketing Communications, and St. Francis Orthopedic Rehab.
Welcome back to Eastview High School. Ryan Paul coming to you live from Lightningville. Here, home of the Eastview Lightning. Chaska's start of the second half has been positive. Cole Nicholson already has 6, and the Hawks lead 37-33 after being down by 1 at the half. They're outscoring the Lightning 8-3 here in this second period. Eastview coming out of the timeout. This is number 3, Ben Newbert. Ben Newbert has it for Eastview. 14 minutes in running here. This is Bolger. Actually, that was Will Berry, rather. Now it's Bolger inside. Offensive foul. Max Bogle picks up the charge. Chaska ball. 14:04 to go. Up 4. Marcus Peters at the other end. Nicholson has it now. Nicholson takes the lane, lost the ball, a foul called. 13:52 to go here. 37-33 the score. Chaska with the lead. Their first lead of the game. Eastview led for all that first half. Now Chaska starting to show some signs of strength. 4 fouls on number 23, Max Bolger. Or 33, excuse me, Bill Berry. He exits with 4 fouls. This is Nicholson inside. Foul called on the floor. Nicholson comes down. I think Nicholson might have taken a shot to the place where the sun doesn't shine. Nicholson's just going to have to walk that off. As many of us know, that is less than the best feeling in the world. Nicholson's going to have 2 free throws ahead of him, and based on some of the facial expressions that some of the fellows on the Chaska bench are making, Cole Nicholson took one to a place where no guy wants to take it. He's got 2 free throws ahead of him, though. 1 is good. 5-point lead for Chaska. Nicholson's up to 17, 7.5. Still milking that apparent tenderness. Second free throw of 2. Up and through. 39-33 lead. Chaska outscoring Eastview 10-3 in this second half so far. 13:43 and ticking here in half 2. Newbert over to Sweden. Sweden working it back around for Ibrahim. Ibrahim back, swinging it around is Eastview. Out in the corner now for Newbert. Newbert takes it inside, kicks it back out to Bolger. Bolger from 15 sinks it. He's up to 9 points. Eastview leading scorer is Max Bolger. 9 points. 13:15 to go here. Half number 2, Zach Lee with it now. The sophomore gives it off for the senior. Elias inside the fellow senior. Parker Bjorklund now in the paint. Working against 6'8". Stephen Crowell. Parker Bjorklund gets a teardrop to go. And with 13 minutes and counting, 39-35 your score. 41-35 your score. Pardon me. Parker Bjorklund up to 9 points on the evening. Hope you're enjoying our Hawks doubleheader tonight. Again, Ryan Paul here live from Eastview High School, bringing you the boys basketball game against Eastview. Colin Jacobson is over back in Chaska, bringing you the Chaska hockey game against Hopkins. I hear the hockey team is performing quite well against the Royals on their home opener, debuting those gold jerseys that we featured on Twitter. Inside, this is Kroll. Kroll can't get it to go. It rolls in and out. 12:20 to go. Half number 2, Zach Leah hustles up the floor now off for Nicholson. Leah with it. Leah over for Nicholson. Nicholson, no. Peters the offensive rebound. Good rebounding by Chaska this game. So far, Peters is open in the corner. He wanted the ball, but Parker Brooklyn was fouled prior to the pass being made. And with 12 minutes and 4 seconds to go, Chaska has an inbound play. And comes the junior, Connor Krinos, and the freshman, Spencer Getz. .33 Nicholson with it. Nicholson working around at the top of the key off for Krinos. Krinos had a pair of threes in that first half. He has 10 points on the evening. A turnover by the freshman Spencer Getz, though. And Eastview has the ball back. This is a 3-ball by Eastview. No good. Ball still loose. Spencer Getz fighting to get it. Can't come away with it, though. Eastview going to get a pair of free throws more than likely after the scrum. And I think the foul is going to be called against Chaska. And yes, it's going to be Isaac Raspberry who was going to the line. Raspberry, we heard his name called quite a bit. Connor Krinos picks up the foul for Chaska. 11:40 to go here. Half number 2. Raspberry 0 for 1. He's got one more remaining. 41-35 Hawks with the lead. They've led for the majority of this second half after Eastview led for all the first half. Eastview playing in the South Suburban Conference. Chaska playing in the Metro West. Eastview is 1-0 on the year. Chaska lost their opener the other night against North St. Paul. 11:40 to go here after Eastview's Raspberry made the second of 2. 41-36 to tally. 11:30 to go. Spencer Getz with it. Gets the pass from Nicholson. Now it's back up top for Krinos. Krinos a long 3-ball short. Matt Eliason flies in for the rebound. He picks up a foul, though. And it's going to be Matt Eliason's second foul on the night. A good aggressive play from Eliason, but he just made contact with the Eastview player for his second foul of the evening. 11:23 to go here. Connor Krinos guards. So that's Matt Eliason who guards it. Matt Eliason comes away with it. He's fouled. Matt Eliason took the cookies of an Eastview player. 11:16 to go. Mahachek picks up his second foul. 43 Spencer gets to inbound. 41-36 to score here. Connor Krinos has it on the arc. A foul down low off ball. Number 24 for Eastview. That's Ryan Thyssen, the guilty party on that one. 11:13 now. Here on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. (11:13), 41-36 to score. Leah on the baseline, inbounds it to Eliason, who quickly works it over for Nicholson. Nicholson back to Eliason now. Eliason works over for Leah. Leah inside the paint. A nice move by Zach. Leah can't get the rebound to fall, though. Or the shot to fall. Gets out to Krinos. Krinos! 3! 44-36. And a piece of padding behind the play has fallen down. We have a clock stoppage here as Connor Krinos collects his 13th point of the evening. 10:58 to go in regulation here. 44-36. Left in half, number 2. 10:58 on the clock, 44-36 from Eastview High School. Trying to get an update on that hockey game. I'm going to patch myself in here on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Colin Jacobson bringing you the hockey game, also on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Matt Eliason clamping down number 13 Raspberry, though. He can't find anything to do with it. Raspberry almost had a 5-second violation. Chaska Hockey, by the way, up 5-2 on Hopkins in the second period. Here is Kroll at the top. Kroll, the sophomore, big, but hasn't shown out very much. Matt Eliason takes some more cookies. Matt Eliason inside now. 2 for Matt Eliason. Matt Eliason showing out here with 10:27 to go. Paul Getz needs to talk it over with his Eastview squad. A 10-point lead for the Hawks. We'll go to break. Chaska up 46-36 when we come back.
This Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network live stream is brought to you by Lenz and Chevrolet Buick, Above and Beyond Marketing Communications, and St. Francis Orthopedic Rehab.
Here we go, back from Chaska High School. Welcome back. Ryan Paul coming to you live here. For half number 2, it's a 10-point lead for Chaska. The Hawks, who didn't lead all of the first half, have now a 10-point advantage here in half number 2. Fans, just want to send a quick shout out to the family of Justin and Jim Bach. We know tragically last week we lost the Chaska principal and Chaska Hawk Jr.'s Justin Bach. His grandmother passed away suddenly at his hockey game, which we were live streaming. We didn't bring you the information live, but we found out shortly after the game that Jim's mother had passed while attending the game at Richfield Ice Arena. So we just want to express our condolences. I know Jim's dad, who survives his wife, is watching over on our hockey game. So we would like to express our deepest condolences to the family. I know Justin has really handled the situation like a pro. I know sometimes things are just not bigger than family, and this would be one of those times. So from the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network to the Bach family and beyond, we would like to express our thoughts to everybody. But back in Eastview here, Ryan Paul with 10 minutes and 10 seconds to go, a 10-point lead for Chaska. And a foul picked up against Chaska fixes the second foul. For Eastview, this down low, this is Crowell. Crowell against Nicholson. Nicholson not letting him do anything. Swung over for Scales. Scales back over for Machacek. Machacek against Getz. Tries to make a dribble move against him, and he puts up with the right hand. A nice shot for Machacek, the 6'5" sophomore. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a tweet out here. Again, thank you to Danny Johnson and Jack Archer, who are filling in for Max Hannanen, who has the night off on our production crew this evening. They're doing a great job so far. I hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast. 9:32 reads the clock. A 8-point lead for Chaska, 46-38. The Lightning led for all the first half, as I've said numerous times here, but Chaska now holds the advantage. Zach Leah enters over for Fix. Fix the senior over to Nicholson. Nicholson. The ball above his head, and now he makes a move. Inside, Nicholson has a scoring lane. It's blocked, though, by the 6'8" sophomore from Eastview, Stephen Crowell. Nicholson almost had a steal, but instead it's down the floor now for number 24, Scales. No, that's Thiessen, rather. Thiessen missed the 3 ball with 9 minutes and 2 seconds to go. The ball goes out of bounds. It's going to stay in the hands of Eastview. Eliason re-enters with 9 and change here in half number 2. This is Crowell. Crowell off the glass. Brings back within 6 for Eastview. Krinos now crosses over Scales, and Dana Coleman calls time with 8:51 to go. Chaska, a 46-40 lead. When we return on the Lenz and Chevrolet Buick Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network.
This Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network live stream is brought to you by Lenz and Chevrolet Buick, Above and Beyond Marketing Communications, and St. Francis Orthopedic Rehab.
Welcome back to the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. There you see on your screen 13-year head coach of Chaska, Dana Coleman, calling the shots for his team. And with 8:51 to go, his squad has a 46-40 lead here on the Hawks Broadcast Network. Dana Coleman obviously took his team to the state quarterfinal last year, lost in a situation that we're all aware of, and we won't speak any further of, but here they are against Eastview with a 6-point lead in this 2017-2018 season. 8:45 and ticking. Connor Greeno's the junior with it. Greeno's over to Eliason. Eliason crosses over. Crossover on Raspberry. Raspberry guards Eliason. Now it's swung back around for Andrew Fix of Chaska. Fix over to the corner for Getz. Getz inside for Bjorklund. Bjorklund off the glass. Can't get it to fall. Matt Eliason aggressively for the rebound. It's tipped around. Fix has it for Chaska. An offensive rebound. Now Eliason pump fake. Dribble drive inside on the baseline. Chaska. Parker Bjorklund inside. Left hand and one. Attempt for Parker Bjorklund upcoming. Chaska playing with a heck of a lot more energy this game than they were last Saturday against North St. Paul. The bench really getting into things. It's the third foul on Eastview big man Stephen Krall. And he will stay in the game, it looks like. I don't see Paul Getz motioning for any subs. So with 8:17 to go here, Parker Bjorklund at the line completes the three-point play. 49-40. Second largest lead of the game for the Hawks. Inside, a ticky-tack foul as Raspberry went up with it. I think Eastview might be getting away with some, bailed out by some contact calls on their way up, but obviously I can't say anything about that. I'm a little biased. Fix picks up his third foul, so no points and 3 fouls for the Hawks senior Andrew Fix, wearing number 10 out there. Raspberry at the charity stripe completes his first of 2. 13-6. Or excuse me, number 13 Raspberry has 6 points. I don't know, I was reading the scoreboard wrong there. 49-41. 8:09. 2 of 2 at the free throw line. Pulls it back within 7. 49-42 the score. 8 minutes and 9 seconds. Connor Kreno's guarded in the backcourt by Scales. Scales still on him. Kreno's pushing ahead now. Kreno's over to Fix. Fix inside for Bjorklund. Bjorklund working against the 6'8 body of Krall. Bjorklund left hand up and good. It's a 9-point lead for Chaska with just under 8 minutes. Bjorklund's up to 14 on the night. Matacek spots up a tray. It's not even close. Kreno's the board. Kreno's is reached into by Raspberry. For Raspberry, his second foul of the game. He's got 7 points, and Kreno's going to go to the line for a 1-and-1 chance here as Eastview's in the or Chaska's in the bonus. Kreno's 1-and-1. The first one is good. Kreno's at the line now for his second of a pair. It's good. 7:39 on the clock. 53-42. The largest lead for Chaska so far in this contest. The largest lead for Chaska on the season. Chaska, next game will be this Friday, the home opener, as Eastview airballs a 3. As I was saying, the home opener for Chaska is this Friday. I'm drawing a blank on who we play. Who do we play Friday? Basketball. Egan? Oh, Egan, that's right. Matt Eliason down low puts Chaska up 55-52 thanks to Danny Johnson, my camera guy, for filling me in there. I was totally drawing a blank. But Egan is Chaska's home opener opponent this Friday. Next broadcast will be this Thursday. We will bring you Hawks hockey live from the Chaska Community Center against Breck School. So we have a Thursday, Friday broadcast, hockey, basketball. Parker Bjorklund's going to pick up a foul for reaching in here with 6:50 to go. Again, thanks to Chaska Herald sports editor Eric Krauscher for coming on and doing some color commentary with us for the first half of this matchup here in Eastview. Hopefully get him on here more often. Follow him on Twitter. He's a great resource for all these West Metro high school sporting events. At Chan Chaska Sport on Twitter. Of course, follow me on Twitter at RyPaul21. About to hit 900 followers, so if you could help me get to that, that'd be great. That's at RyPaul21, or if you're not familiar with Twitter, it's twitter.com/RyPaul21. As always, you can watch every single one of our Hawks athletic broadcasts on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network by going to ChaskaBasketballReport.com. Crowell hits both from the charity stripe, 55-44, 11-point lead for Chaska with 6:47 to go in regulation. Zach Leo with it for Chaska. Leo over to Nicholson. Nicholson to Kreno's. Kreno's a wide open 3. It's off. Kreno's had a hot hand in the first half. Can't seem to find it in the second half. Zach Leah gives it off to him at the volleyball line. Now Leah and Carino's working the back court for Chaska. Here's Eliason who spots up a 3-ball. Money! Matt Eliason waters the plants. 58-44 the score. 6:19 to go in the second half. Eastview with it, pushes across. Now it's worked over for Scales. Scales on the baseline. Insert pass for Kroll. Kroll over for Bolger. Bolger couldn't get it to drop. The second effort is up and good though. 6 minutes to go in half number 2. 58-46 from Eastview. Zach Leah behind the back crossover. Nicholson has a free driving lane. He elects not to go with it. Parker Bjorklund is his outlet, and now he gives it back to number 33, Nicholson, the junior. Back over for Leah now. Zach Leah. Over for Elias, or Parker Bjorklund rather. Bjorklund over for Nicholson now. Chaska slowing things down a bit here with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. Nicholson enters the lane, up and good. Chaska crosses the 60-point mark with a 60-46 lead. 5:18 to go here in the second half. Scales has it as Eastview starting to get a little bit behind here. Inside now for Eastview. This is Kroll. Kroll dishes it out to Scales. Eastview. Both teams here have a lack of experience on the roster. Chaska seniors didn't play much varsity time last year. Eastview plays 4 sophomores on their average lineup. Now Krinos has it at the other end for Chaska. Eliason strong pass to Nicholson. Nicholson to Leah. Leah all the way into the other corner for Parker Bjorklund. Bjorklund across the edge now. Guarded by number 33, Will Berry. And Eliason at the top of the key. We go under 4.5 here. Left in regulation. Machek's going to check back in for Eastview at the next dead ball. 4:20 and ticking here in half number 2. Nicholson with it for Chaska. Nicholson looks for an option. Chaska really starting to slow things down here with a 14-point lead. Nicholson sloppily, if that's even a word, they committed the traveling violation. 60-46 is the tally. 4:13 to go here. We have time starting to wind down on this second game of the Hawks basketball season. The Hawks didn't lead for a single second in that first half, and they have led for almost every second in the second half. So that's how things worked. Hope maybe Dana Coleman gave him a hype up conversation in the locker room, and that's what fired him out in the second half. We go under 4 minutes here on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Machek enters the game standing 6'5", and drills the 3-ball. Cuts it within 11. 3:45 to go in this game. Zach Leah in the backcourt. Pushes ahead for Krinos. Krinos finds a Nicholson. Nicholson breaking the press. Here's Bjorklund. Bjorklund takes the baseline. Eliason falling out of bounds. Gives it up for Krinos. Krinos swings it over for Leah. Leah now to Nicholson. Nicholson has it. Bjorklund with it now. Bjorklund. Pump fake. Lost the ball. Stolen by Scales. Scales now. Eastview has numbers. Scales no-look dish off to Bolger. Bolger up for Machek. Machek threw it up and got fouled with 3:19 to go in the second half. 60-49 Chaska lead. Eastview has a chance to cut it within one digit scoring here. Nicholson guilty of his second foul in the evening. $60-50. 10-point matchup here with 3:19 to go in the second half. Nine-point game, 60-51. Chaska lead. 3:17 to go here on this second night of Hawks basketball. Leah brings it up the floor, working left to right across your computer screen, TV screen, tablet screen, whatever screen you might be watching this game on. We thank you for tuning in to the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network this evening. Brought to you by our fantastic sponsors, Lendon Chevrolet Buick, Above and Beyond Marketing, and St. Francis Orthopedic Rehab. Parker Bjorklund puts away his 16th point of the night and makes it a double-digit game once more, 62-51 with 2:48 to go here in the game. $2:38. 237, 236, 62-51 the score. Eastview swinging it around, struggling to get anything going. Chaska defense has been phenomenal. Tate Machacek pulls up in the face of Cole Nicholson. Machacek's a very, very good shooter. 62-53, back to a 1.1 single-digit lead for Chaska. Across the 8:30 p.m. time here locally, as Connor Krinos pushes it back up for Eliason, now to Nicholson, now to Leah. We got on the bus from Chaska High School at like 4:15 probably. We didn't get here until 5:30. Illegal screen called on Chaska. It's Bjorklund who called for the violation, but as I was saying, the roads getting here, we had our first sticking snow of the season last night here in suburban Minnesota. The typical drive from Chaska to Apple Valley or Eastview High School where we're playing tonight would be probably right around 30 to 40 minutes. Instead today it took about an hour and 20. With the snow we ran into a couple of car accidents, police blocking the roads, so hopefully the drive home will not be as bad, but thank our bus driver and everybody who did their part in getting us here safely, so we can play basketball here on this December 5th evening here. Zach Leah picks up his third foul. Parker Bjorklund still on the floor with his fourth. If Bjorklund fouls out, I wonder, maybe we see some Samir Omar? I'm not sure. Don't want to speculate. Samir Omar, the senior, very loved member of the Chaska High School community. He tried out for basketball this year and made the team, so he sits on the bench. He's yet to see his time on the floor this year. Hopefully we see a little bit of Samir Omar on the floor this year for Chaska. 1:50 to go, half number 2 here from Eastview. Cole Nicholson with it, Chaska milking a 62-55 lead, 1:42 to go here. Nicholson at the top of the key, guarded tightly by Machacek. Machacek still guarding Nicholson tightly as he releases to Krinos. Krinos now back to Nicholson. Chaska slowing things down here, just under 90 seconds left in this contest. Nicholson lost his footing momentarily. Now Nicholson takes the lane. Nicholson pulls up. Now it's for Leah. Leah, Chaska here with 1:17 to kill off before they walk away with their first victory of the season. Hopefully. Nicholson guarded by Machacek. Machacek still playing defense here. Eastview still playing as if they have a shot, which they rightfully do. Only down 62-55. 1:03 seconds. 1:02 seconds. 1 minute remaining in this second game of the Chaska High School season as a pinball pass by Zach Leah goes off a couple of feet and eventually is whistled dead for a kicked ball violation. 57 seconds and 2/10. Read the clock here. And I believe we're going to get a timeout here. So as we go under 1 minute, we get a 30-second timeout here on the Chaska Hawks Lens and Chevrolet Buick Broadcast Network. We will return for the last minute on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network after this.
This Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network live stream is brought to you by Lens and Chevrolet Buick, Above and Beyond Marketing Communications, and St. Francis Orthopedic Rehab.
Well, we are back here live on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Ryan Paul coming to you with the last 57 seconds of this second game of the Hawks basketball season. The Hawks lost to North St. Paul on Saturday, a hard-fought matchup, the first game for this new-look Chaska team. Dana Coleman obviously has a little bit of a different squad this year, losing some very dominant seniors, Miles Hansen, Alex Trezani, Andrew Coleman. He also had Ryan Rodriguez and Jack Perrell graduate last year. So now, the size isn't exactly there this year, the dominance isn't exactly there this year, but they are going to win games fundamentally. And they've shown us that here tonight. Chaska going down early. They were down 9-0 to start the game. They battled back. At halftime, they were down by 1. And now they lead Eastview here by 7 points, 62-55. Parker Bjorklund, the senior who has 4 fouls, is at the line now. He's got 16 points on the evening. Seven-point matchup here. 56.3 to go. Bjorklund sings part 1 of the bonus Here's the second half. Good. 9-point lead for Chaska. 64-55. Bjorklund with 18 points. Chaska's second leading scorer on the night. Nicholson is up to 20 points. Nicholson had 26 on Saturday. He's got 20 this game. 45 seconds in running here from from Eastview High School. A nice move inside by Tate Montechek, who has 17 points. Then we get a stoppage with 37 seconds left. Chaska with a 64-57 lead. Bit of a confusion on the floor. A full timeout by Eastview. And we will go to another break here on the Lens and Chevrolet Buick Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network.
This Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network live stream is brought to you by Lens and Chevrolet Buick, Above and Beyond Marketing Communications, and St. Francis Orthopedic Rehab.
Welcome back for the last 37.2 seconds here from the home of the Eastview Lightning. Ryan Paul coming to you live on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Hope you're enjoying game number 2 of this basketball season. Hope you also are enjoying the Hawks hockey broadcast, which is taking place at the same web address. You can watch all of our games for future reference, fans. Watch all of our games, that includes boys basketball and boys hockey, at www.chaskabasketballreport.com. We're going to have the game of fouls here for the last 35.2, I presume, so I'm going to take some time to let you know here that you can visit me on Twitter. I would recommend following me on Twitter. I provide some good up-to-the-minute updates, some behind-the-scenes looks at certain things. I posted some pictures of the boys hockey team. They did a dress for success day at school today. They all showed up in their suits and stuff, so I posted some pictures from that. And again, my Twitter is RyPaul, RYPAUL 21, at RyPaul 21. Encourage you to follow me on there. That's a good spot for you to stay updated. Crino stands at the line now. 16th point, just came off that last free throw. Here's number 17, and it's a 9-point lead for Chaska with 35 and running. Chaska looking like they're going to walk away with victory number 1 on the season. Eastview going to suffer loss number 1. Both teams obviously will move to 1-1. Then Eastview's going to still foul, though, with 20 seconds left. Nicholson's going to have a chance to go above 20. Eastview down 9. Paul Getz electing to continue the foul game. Nicholson to the stripe for Chaska. He's going to have 2. Both teams in the double bonus here. Nicholson, good. 10-point match, 10-point game. 21 points for the Chaska junior on the evening. 20.9 seconds left in this one here. Nicholson's second is good. It's an 11-point game. As Eastview tries to get back into this game, I want to take a minute to thank my camera operator this evening, Danny Johnson. He did a great job filling in this evening. Jack Archer on the production, who can hear me right now through his headphones, did a great job. So thanks, guys. Hopefully you'll be back a little more this season. I know Max Hannanen, you're hopefully out there watching off this evening. But we'll be bringing you 2 more streams this week, live on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Thursday, we have boys hockey live from Chaska Community Center against Breck. And on Friday, the home opener for Hawks basketball is against Egan. That's going to do it here this evening, folks, from Eastview High School. Chaska walks away with their first victory of the season. Eastview falls to 1-1. Final score, 68-57. Hawks win on this Tuesday night. We hope you enjoyed our broadcast, folks. Ryan Paul, on the behalf of Danny Johnson and Jack Archer and Eric Krauscher, saying so long this evening from Eastview. Hawks walk away with victory number 1 on the season. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and have a good night. Soar Hawks!
This Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network live stream is brought to you by Lens and Chevrolet Buick, Above and Beyond Marketing Communications, and St. Francis Orthopedic Rehab.